Welcome to Thinner Peace and Menopause and Beyond. This is Dr. Deb Butler, Master Life and Weight Coach, and as always, your coach. Today is episode number, oh my gosh, I can't believe it, number 198, and I'm still in Costa Rica, so I will be playing for you today an old podcast that I'm making new. I never want you to miss a week, so this is what I have for you today. Stay tuned. Hi, everybody. How are you today? It's a beautiful day in paradise. I'm looking out in my woods. The snow is down. It's just beautiful. And for those of you who were listening to my podcast last week, I did get out. I ended up in Tampa for the weekend. I got out of the snowstorm in St. Louis as it was coming in. My husband took me to the airport. It was the sweetest thing he could ever do because it's not the airport that's close in St. Louis. It's actually in Illinois. So it's over an hour away. And he took me to the airport because I told him I wasn't sure if I wanted to drive in the snow. I'm one of those people. Don't judge me. So he took me to the airport. I ended up on the airplane as the snow was hurling down. And I thought, am I going to get out of here? Sat in an airplane on the tarmac for an hour and a half as they de-iced the airplane. I don't know how many times. And then, lo and behold, we took off and I ended up in Tampa. I was with my best friend of 40 years. The sun was out. The sand was there. The ocean was beautiful. It was just a beautiful time. But the funniest thing of all is that when I landed in Tampa, I wanted to text my husband and say, hallelujah, I'm here, because it took me so long to get there. I was like maybe almost 2 hours late in getting in. So I texted my husband and said, hey, I'm here, honey, no problem. And he texts me back and he says, hey, I just got home. It took him as long to get home as it took me to get to Tampa. So all I can say is thank you, Michael, for taking me to the airport. Once again, if I haven't told you how much I love my husband and what a wonderful man he is, I'm telling it to the world, and I really appreciate it. But, I digress a little bit, but I think some of you wanted to know how that ended up last week. Anyway, I've been in Tampa, I've been in the sun, and I've had some time to think. And one of the things that I've really been thinking about, and it's one of the things that I haven't talked to you about in a long time, but it's very, very important. One of the things that I teach on a regular basis that you all know, and that a lot of you, it resonates with you so much, you end up wanting to do many sessions and work with me just off of this concept of the hunger scale. To eat when you're hungry, stop when you're full, that the hunger scale actually goes from a -10, which is starving, to a +10, which is stuffed. And what I'm asking you to do is to be able to go inside your body and feel what it's like to be at a -2, and then feed yourself at a -2, and then feel what it's like to be at a +2, which is just slightly satisfied. You feel like you're, kind of light and airy. You feel like you could go for a walk. You feel really clear, +2. You've got a lot of points still to eat, right? Like from a 2 to a 10, that's a lot more eating you can do. There's a lot more room in the stomach to fill if you wanted to. So it really is a training of the mind and the body to be able to be an expert at your 2s when it comes to physical hunger. And, I can tell you also that it doesn't even have to be the 2s. It could be 3s or it could be 4s. Everybody's a little bit different. But I always start with 2s because it makes you have to pay so much attention to your body so much of the time. So this is one of the things that I've realized by teaching the hunger scale is that for a lot of women, since I work with women that are usually in their 50s or 60s, most of these women are highly successful, very, very busy women that are very, very used to taking care of everybody else but themselves. Am I talking to you? You? Yeah, I thought so. And what happens from this, and this is what I noticed as a chiropractor, because I practiced chiropractic for about 30 years before I started doing coaching full time. And one of the things that I noticed in chiropractic was that people would come to me. I had some people that came to me for maintenance care. And maintenance care means that you just come in and you get your spine checked once a month, regardless of where you are in terms of pain. You just come to make sure that you keep your pain gone. And the way that you do it is by taking care of it before it gets bad. So with my patients, I started using a pain scale, just like I'm using a hunger scale with you. And really, the pain scale is very similar to the hunger scale. And I want you to think of this in the same way, because this is the truth. You have to be the owner of your body, and you have to know how it talks, and you have to be willing to listen, pay attention, and take action. So with physical hunger, I'm asking you to pay attention to that physical hunger. And I'm telling you, don't let it go so long that you're so hungry you can't make good decisions. I'm telling you, at a -2, that's time to start eating. And don't stuff yourself. If you stuff yourself and you go to a +5 or a +6, you're uncomfortable. You can't think good. You don't feel good. And on top of it, like most of you, you start beating yourselves up for eating too much. So there's no upside for going way beyond that. So if we're eating between the 2s in the physical hunger scale, now I want you to think of your body in terms of the pain scale, like I did with my chiropractic patients. So if you have a pain scale that goes from a -10, which is you're in the emergency room, or a +10, where if you were any better, you'd fly in the sky. You feel so fantastic, right? No pain. And in between there are a lot of numbers. And the way that I taught my patients how to use maintenance care was basically to come see me between the 2s, like when they're at a -2, not when they're at a -10, right? -10 is the emergency room. Let's say they're not emergency room time, they're at a -8. They're just in so much pain. Now, most of the time when people came to me when they were in so much pain, -8, they had been putting up with it for a while and sort of pushing through it, ignoring it, hoping it would go away. But that's the body's way of talking to you. It starts with a whisper, and a whisper, think of a whisper as a -2. A -2 in hunger is a whisper of hunger. Think of pain as a -2 is a whisper of pain. Now you tell me, think about this for a minute. If you took care of pain levels in your body, I don't care if it's your foot, your head, your back, whatever it is, if you really put some attention into it at that level and gave yourself the care that you needed, it might not ever go any higher. And that's what I want to call paying attention to the whispers of your body, or becoming a body whisperer. Because I will tell you, as you grow older, and you are, all of you, I don't care how old you are growing older, the more in touch you are with your body, the better chance you have of having a healthy body as you age. Okay, so I understand that things just happen, and I'm not talking about the uncontrollable things in life. I'm not talking about the circumstances. What I'm talking about is how you pay attention and handle your body on a daily basis. If you decide that you want to become a body whisperer, because I think I'm a body whisperer, and I really think I teach my clients how to become a body whisperer, which basically means you're going to have to make yourself a priority because you got to pay attention to yourself all the time. And that is like so important. Now, a lot of people say to me, well, how can I pay attention to myself when I have so much other stuff going on? And isn't that selfish and blah, blah, blah. And I'm telling you, sweetheart, you can do both. You can pay attention to yourself and what's going on in your body and in your heart and in your soul. And you can pay attention to what's going on outside of you too. You can do both. But being the body whisperer, being able to pay attention to those whispers in your body, I think makes or breaks the type of health you will have over time. I really believe this, and I see it more and more. So pain levels. If you, like for instance, for myself, I herniated a disc about 25 years ago. Now, I know I have whispers in my body that tell me, -2, something's going on. Now, it's not really bad. I could pretty much do anything I want. But if I keep pushing it and keep doing more, which is kind of what happens with me, is I just keep wanting to do more. Oh, this didn't hurt. I'll do more. I'll just push my way through it. I have so many women that say, I just didn't have time. I had to get it done. I just had to get it done. I just had to finish it. I just had to make one more stop. That kind of stuff, when you do that, you are not a body whisperer of your own body. Because basically what you're telling your body is, shut up. I don't have time for you. And I will tell you what bodies do when they're being screamed and yelled at and not wanting to be paid attention to. They just do whatever they want. And pretty soon the body manages you. And I'll tell you what, your body wins every single time. I'm telling you. You go to -10s with pain. You go to -10s with hunger. Guess what? You're going to be eating the kitchen sink and you're going to be in the emergency room. For sure, your body will win. But if you decide to be proactive with your own body and listen to the whispers, the -2s, the -2 of pain, for me, it's my low back. When that's a -2, I know I take precautions. I know I don't walk as hard. I know that if I'm going to go to a yoga class, I know that there's certain things that I will not do. I'll still go because I can still get the benefits. I won't push through moves that are going to hurt me. And I know because I can hear it in my body because I'm paying attention. I know that I'm going to probably lay down and rest it a little bit more. I know that I'm probably going to ice it, possibly. I may even go to a chiropractor, which is my husband, and get adjusted. That's what I do at my -2s. And the result of paying attention to my -2s over the 20 years of having a herniated disc is I've never had another emergency. And I think it speaks so well for what it's like when you become a whisperer of your own body. And hunger is exactly the same way. Those of you who have been practicing this hunger scale, it's like a whole different world when you're eating when you're hungry and you're stopping when you're full. It is just like you have a totally different body. And there's so much time and so much room in your mind for so many other things because you're so well fueled. And then you can even take it. I'm thinking of all the involuntary actions in your body. And, another one of those is the idea of sleep. For those of you, my clients and patients alike, sleep is a very interesting thing in being tired. And I have a lot of clients, and think of sleep and being tired and make a scale for that. So make a -10, like exhausted, like you just almost are falling asleep sitting up. And think of a +10 as being so rested and so energetic because your sleep is so good. And then think of this. Think of what would it be to paying attention to your body when it gets tired at a -2. I love these ideas of these twos. And at a -2, that's the whisper of being tired. Now, I know what most of you do with a -2. Nothing. It's just a whisper. When it's screaming at me, I will listen. I will go to bed. I will do something when I'm at a -8, when I'm at a -9. It's the same thing with pain. When I'm at a -8, when I'm at a -9, I will do something. I'm really good at listening to my body when it's screaming. That's how most of you are. And I will tell you what, listening to a body that's screaming all the time is not a great way to get older. But listening to your body when it whispers is the most beautiful way to get older because you will have a body that's working for you because you're taking care of it. So can you imagine that when you start feeling the whisper of tired at night and you start preparing yourself for bed as opposed to doing 2 more hours of emails? You would sleep better. You might wake up earlier. You'll feel more rested and you'll feel more calm. But this is what I see with a lot of my clients is they wait until they're ready to drop dead to go to sleep. And those whispers, if a -2 is, hey, honey, it's time to get ready, or say you have those whispers in the middle of the day, maybe it's time to take a break. A break? I know, most of you, who's got time for a break? But that's the idea of being a body whisperer, is you start figuring out how to take care of this beautiful body of yours and its communication with you. So the physical hunger scale, I know, got your attention. So I want this whole concept of being a body whisperer about a lot of different things in your body to start resonating with you. How do I take care of my body to keep it out of pain? How do I take care of my body so I'm not exhausted all the time? And you know what's so interesting about being tired is so many of my clients, and myself included, get being tired and being hungry and get confused with the two signals. Because the more tired you are, sometimes you just want to eat instead of sleep. So really being in tune to these is what I'm asking you to work on this week. Is, can I become a body whisperer to my own body? Can I love myself that much and give myself that much attention? Can I do that? And I want to tell you that the answer is, of course you can. And I'll also tell you that any other option that you think is available to you isn't. Because if you're waiting for screaming, you are not going to be a happy camper at some point in time. And if you're waiting for the whispers, you feel like you're in control. And what do most of you want? To feel in control. And if you want to practice feeling in control, then pay attention to those body whispers and do what your body asks you, because that's when you are in control. Does this make sense to you? I hope so. So for next week, for this whole week, be a body whisperer. Pay attention to your body. Listen to the whispers. Use the physical hunger scale and make it a pain scale and make it a tired scale. And start seeing where your numbers are at and see if you can really start paying attention to those early numbers. And you know what the result of that will be? A thinner, healthier body and a happier mind, body, and soul. And you know what? This is what I call thinner peace. So take that in for this week. And of course, as always, you know, I want you to be very, very, very kind to yourself and become a body whisperer. See you next week. Bye-bye.
If you're ready to take your eating issues to another higher, more improved level, well, it's time to talk to my wife, Dr. Deborah. She's helped hundreds and thousands of people. Just visit drdebbutler.com/work with me. You'll get a free consultation with Dr. Deb and find out if coaching and talking to my wife is a solution to your struggles.